Here's a question. When, why and how much should we use L1, the learner's first language, when we're teaching English? Want some thoughts on this? Keep watching. If this is the first time we're meeting, I'm Jo Gakonga. I've been teaching for over 30 years and training teachers on CELTA and MAT-SOL programs for over 20 of those. I've also got a website at elttraining.com where I make video-based material for teachers at all stages of their careers. Check it out and don't forget to like and subscribe. I make a new video every week. When I started teaching English in the 1980s, there was a strong feeling in private language schools that I was working in that using only English in the classroom was the right way to go. And I think that maybe this was a bit of a backlash against traditional language classrooms like my French lessons in school, where the teacher hardly ever spoke the target language, French in that case. Really, I thought he couldn't for a long time. I kid you not. We don't need to throw the baby out with the bathwater though. There are good reasons to mostly use English in the classroom. It's really good to get the learners used to listening to the language, and I'd say it's motivating. But there are clearly very good reasons to use the learner's first language at times. So here are 3 for you. Number 1, reducing anxiety, especially for low-level learners. The first one, and it's important, is that if learners know they can ask or get clarification in their first language, they're likely to feel more comfortable, more confident and less anxious. And all of these things mean a better learning environment and actually a much better chance of progress and success. Number 2 is speed and efficiency. So using translation for words and phrases is likely to be much faster and more efficient than getting learners to understand by trying to explain it in English. Generally, I'd say, why not? The only caveat is I think that you need to be a bit careful of where the semantic boundaries don't align. That sounds technical, doesn't it? All it means is that very often the meaning of a word in L1 and in L2 aren't exactly the same in all contexts. I asked ChatGPT for some examples and I got some really interesting ones, including this one between French and English. So you can see that big usually translates to grand in French. But there are some examples in English where we can say big, but where grand wouldn't be right. Number 3, comparative analysis of language. My third reason is that it can be super useful to compare what your first language does to what English does. If you can see the differences, it'll help you not to make the mistakes that you'd make by direct translation. And it's often quite memorable too, I think. So this could be something quite simple like word order. Adjectives in Swahili, as with many other languages, come after the noun, but in English, they usually come before it. And this kind of comparative analysis, it's great for grammatical structures and it's also useful for false friends too. If you're Spanish, it's worth knowing that embarrassed in English doesn't mean you're pregnant, for example. I hope that these thoughts are useful, and as with a lot of things in life, there's a balance to be found about how much L1 to use, and it's your job as a teacher to decide where that balance lies. Have fun with it and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.